Hey guys, this is Chandra, and this is going to be page 2 in my mother's album. If you want to see how to make the base pages and put the flaps on them, you have to see video 1, which is where I made this first page. And again, like I said in the previous video, I don't know which order I'm going to put these in my book in when I finally get done, but I will let you know if it's page 1, 2, 3, or 4, okay? So I'm going to put that one to the side. I'm going to bring another base page with the flap out. And I am going to figure out what I want to do to this album. And I will come back with the measurements of what I plan to do. Okay, so I have the second page, and what I've decided to do is make a half pocket here. And then I'm going to make a tag that flips over that has a flap on it that comes down to about here, just as part of the design element. So I've cut this. It is not wide enough. Okay, so the page is 8 inches, so I need a piece that's 9 by 5.5. So I'm going to get this cutter back out, and I'm going to cut my page down to 9. And I'm going to cut this down to 5.5. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and 8.5. I'm going to rotate it so this is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to make a normal pocket here. Now granted, it's a big ass pocket, but it's a normal pocket. And because I want to incorporate some of the punching again, I'm going to punch the top of this page here. Thought I messed that up. Okay, so I have my pocket here, and I'm going to miter these 2 corners to cut out the bulk like you do in sewing. They call it miter in woodworking. And then I'm going to flip this over and see what hangs out up here, as you can see. And I'm going to just take my scissors and cut downward and cut that off. And I'm going to do it on both sides because I don't want to see that from the front. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to apply my tape to the pocket. Take out the tape backing, hold my sides down and the bottom up, and now I am going to make sure that it's lined up on the bottom edge and just on the left side of the score mark of the page flap. Again, I'm still going to make sure it's lined up on the bottom and on the side, and then I'm going to burnish. And if any of it is jacked up, just smash it over and it'll fold right. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of these little cuts here. Now, I need to, I want a page that flips into here, but that folds over, and this side is going to, I'm going to make another flap to fold up. That's what I'm thinking. So, again, my page is 8 by 10, so I am going to have cut this down to 8 inches, and I'm leaving this, I'm going to cut this down to 10.5, And I'm going to end up scoring that at 1/2 inch. And then I am going to have to measure. And I'm going to do 8. So I'm going to need another sheet that measures 8 by 8. Let's see, what is that? It's 8.5. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I don't know what it's from. All right, so there's that. And now this is going to measure 8. I want it to be, so this is going to come down here. So I want that to go up a little bit. So 4.5. So it needs to be 8 by 4.5. And I'm not writing these measurements down, so you'll have to get them when you're listening to the video. Because this is not something that I have made before. So I'm just winging it here. I'm saving my scraps in case I need to make a band, or in case I mess up again and have to make new wings or what have you. And where did my scoring, what do you call it, my bone folder go? There it is. So the 8 by 4.5, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. And the 8 by 10.5, I'm going to score on the 10.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Okay. Now I'm going to move that just for a second. I'm going to fold on my score mark, and I'm going to apply tape.
Oh, Lord, it's finally in the oven.
Aw. And then I'm going to take this 8 by 8 flap and attach it to that, making sure it's straight. I want it to be level. You want it to be plumb. There we go. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to attach this flap to this piece here. I'm just trying to decide if I want to punch it again. I think I do, because this flap is going to go on the front. So I'm going to punch. I start in the middle, and I just messed that up. Hopefully I didn't. Nope. I get a little excited and I skip a punch mark. Back hurts. And then go here, and I go here. Okay. All right, so now I have my flap here, and I am going to apply my score tape. And I'm going to take my scissors and just cut off the corners. And take off the tape backing, fold it down, and I'm going to start with the folded edge here on the side, the right side, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom. I need a necklace for my bone folder. Take this down and burnish it all the way down. Okay. Now, this pocket, I think I did wrong. Yes, I need to cut, since my page is 8, I really need to cut this pocket at a little bit less. So I need to, not 1/4 of an inch, but an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just lining it up to the first big tick mark. There we go. Now it should fit in the pocket with no problem. So I'm going to, maybe, it's getting stuck on the little flap here, but once I mat, it won't be a problem. Okay, So it's sticking up a little bit. I thought I was going to have to do that because when you add a pocket, it takes off a little bit of space from the actual height of your page. So you need to take off a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off just 1/4 of an inch off the actual page. Because the tape from the pocket is going to stop the pocket from being a true size. So there we go. So now this is a page, and this page sits in there good. Let's see if we can close it. Yep, we can still close it. Sticks out just a little bit. Okay. I don't think I want, maybe I want the pocket. Let me see. I don't know what this measures. So this page is 3 by 9. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this piece and score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and 8. Rotate it to the 3-inch side and score it 1/2 inch. And that is going to make a pocket. I'm going to move this piece out of the way a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And score on my fold marks. I'm not going to do anything to this pocket other than cut out the little squares that are formed when you fold. So I guess tomorrow is Sunday. Well, I know it's Sunday, but I think I have to take my son to the grocery store. He doesn't like going places by himself. He's a baby. But you know what? I like the time with him, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, so here's the pocket. I'll bring my page back in. Here's my flap, and I'm going to apply my pocket, fold my 2 sides down onto the bottom. Make sure that it's there. Take off my tape backing, and now I'm going to apply this pocket to this flap. Make sure it's right. Now, this pocket sticks up a little bit, but what's going to happen is I'm going to make that defeats the purpose. See, I thought, let's see if I burnish it more. I thought this pocket, it would, if I put a mat in there, it'll stay down. And then this tag or whatever, I can mat, and there would be a picture on there. Don't know if I have any 5x7s of my mom, but maybe I'll make a tag that can hold 2 4x6s. So I need it to be 8x6. So let's see what this measurement is. So that's 6, but that's definitely not 8 inches. All right, so we're grabbing another piece of paper and we're cutting it at, let's do 6 1/4 and 8 1/2. And that way I can kind of map the pictures differently. Okay, so that's going to be there, and once I get it matted and the pictures on it, I think it'll weigh it down enough to not be a problem. So that's the first page done, and then I have this pocket back here which has this, and there's not going to be anything on that as far as pockets or anything, and I will decorate that in another video and show you what I come up with, because now I have to figure out this side. Guys, this is what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything to the inside flap. I'm just going to put pictures and designer paper on there in a way in which I think it would look okay. So then we have the outside flap, which is like the front of the page. And all I did was I cut 3 pieces of paper that measured 7 1/2 by 6. And I scored on the 7 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then I applied my score tape and mitered the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the first flap on here. You know what? Hold on. Let me see if my edge things, where'd they go? My edge dies because I haven't used in them on this page yet. Nope, it's too small. That's right. So I'm going to apply the first, here's the folded edge, and here's the top of the actual page. I'm going to apply this to the top here and align it with the fold. And then the second, I'm going to open it up, and then the second one, actually, should I do this first? All right, so the second one I'm going to apply starting 2 inches down from the top. So I'm just going to mark 2 inches here. And then I'm going to take off the tape backing, folded edge. I'm going to line it up here and line it with the score mark and the page that's sticking out. And I'm going to open that up. And now I'm taking the last page and I'm just lining it up with the bottom. And making sure that that's straight there. And so here are 3 pages. I'm just going to burnish to make sure that they all stay down. So there are 3 pages on the front of this. And so when I go to mat them and stuff, I think it will look okay. Maybe. All right, so now the back page is what I have to design, and I'll be back with that one. Okay, I took a break to eat and finish my homework, but I was thinking this is a 3.5 by 7 inch piece of paper, and I'm going to score on the 3.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do that twice. But I was thinking of the Tim Holtz folio and how it has 2 flaps on the top. And well, 1 flap on the top and 1 flap on the bottom, and then it has the sides that oh gosh. And I tried to find mine, but I'm pretty sure that's what it looked like. So I'm gonna look it up. Good picture of it. Okay, here we go. You see how these 2, he had 2 little flaps on there. So I'm going to I'm going to try to recreate that. I'm going to put the 2 there and the 2 on the side. I don't know what I'm going to do in the middle yet. So I have cut these smaller than my page though, because I want them smaller. So that's what I've done. And now I'm taking my 1/2 inch corner rounder and rounding the corners on these 2 pieces. I got some questions on some of my older videos, and somebody was asking me to list all of the sizes for my matting, and I just don't do that, because I measure what I want to mat and then I cut it 1/4 inch smaller so that there's a little gap. So if my page is 5 by 5, I cut my mat 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, or my patterned paper, I should say, to mat. And it was maybe somebody that's a beginner, and that's fine. Questions are good, but that's why I don't list cutting or anything for matting, because everybody does it. They do it different ways. I know some people who like to leave a 1/4 inch gap on all around their papers. Is that straight? I don't think it is. And I just don't like that look of the big gap around there. So I just do it 1/4 inch. So there's just a little info for you there. So it looks like I need to. Oh, see, woman, where are my brain cells today? It's like one of those things where if you haven't done it for a while, it's hard to get back into. It's like riding a bike, except for you can't ever do it again. Now I'm going to make the 2 flaps, and on his, 1 flap is longer because that's the cover of the book than the other one, but I'm just going to I think make these so they flap over on themselves. So I'm going to cut them at 4.5 each, and this is by 10, right? Yes. So I'm going to cut these at 4.5 by 10. So these are 10 by 4.5. So I'm going to stick it in on the 4.5 inch side and score it 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that on both to meet in the middle. They're not going to overlap any. So I think what I'm going to do, we'll see how it's going to work out, if it'll open up right or not. So this is the second page. And hopefully I can get this video edited and out. And then I'll work on the third page. I'm actually having pretty good fun. But I'm really excited to decorate and attach the pictures. That's, for me, on this album. Usually it's building the albums that's my favorite. And I'm not too good on embellishing. I've never been very good at that part of it. My friend Deb is phenomenal at it, and I tried to get her several times to teach me, and she would show me, but I guess I just don't have the eye for it. And I have lots of embellishments, flowers and stickers and buttons and beads, and you know, I have everything. I buy it when it's on sale, and I just don't use it. So that's that page, and that's done. So stay tuned for page 3 of this album. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.